Okay, gang, here's what's cooking today. We're going to be making chicken soup. And as you can see, I've got a bunch of ingredients chopped up, ready to go. So let's talk about what we've got here. Well, obviously the star of the show is going to be the chicken. And there's quite a bit of it there, so I'm thinking I might actually turn this into 2 batches of soup. We'll see how I feel when I load the Instant Pot. Over here, I've got some fresh green beans on the left, carrots and celery. And the quantities don't really matter. Chop up as much as you feel like. Use whatever vegetables you feel like. And if you're in spring, you probably want to omit the carrots at this point, okay? I've got some chopped onion here. This is about 1 medium-sized onion, 1 good-sized bell pepper chopped up here, and this is a whole head of red cabbage. Then we've got some chopped tomatoes, the bone broth that I made earlier, and here's what we've got going on for seasonings. So this is going to be a little bit hard to see. So I've got, about a teaspoon of Himalayan pink rock salt, about a half a teaspoon of cracked black pepper, about a teaspoon of sage, about a half a teaspoon of dried basil, about 3/4 of a teaspoon of thyme, and I've got some marjoram, about half to 3/4 of a teaspoon of marjoram, and oregano, which you can't see behind the bay leaves. And then over here, I've got some fresh rosemary and some fresh basil as well. So here's all that happens. We're just going to dump stuff into the Instant Pot and cover it in broth. And then it only goes on for 10 minutes. So I will be back with you in a little bit and let you know if I turn this into 2 batches or if I'm going to do it in one. Okay, here's where we wound up. We're pretty full. And in fact, the max fill line is right there. I'm like right at it. And basically all I did was dump things in, and the last thing to go in was the chicken broth. And again, I used bone stock that I've made previously, but you can use, boxed or canned chicken stock if that's what you want to do. Of course, make sure you check the label to make sure it doesn't have any sugar in it. And then the last thing I do is dump the tomatoes, on top of all the other ingredients, because if you leave tomatoes at the bottom of the Instant Pot, especially for something thick, like spaghetti, chili, that kind of stuff, it can actually scorch on the bottom of the pot. So I usually just leave them on top and then stir them in at the very end. In fact, I did not stir this up at all. The pressure will make the flavors meld perfectly well. I'll just stir it up at the end. So here's what I wound up with. I used about 2/3 of the chicken, and I used about half of the cabbage, and only 1 of 2 cans of tomatoes. I think it's going to be perfect. We'll find out in about 10 minutes. So all that happens now is we press pressure cook, and then we're going to reduce this back down to 10 minutes. Actually, I think I'm going to do 12. It doesn't really matter how long, and now I'm going to do 10 because I don't like my vegetables overcooked. And the chicken is already cooked, so it's not a big deal. And then we're just going to put the lid on, seal it up, and we'll be good to go. There we go. I'll check back with you in a little bit. Bye-bye.
Nailed it. Here we have a beautiful bowl of chicken vegetable soup made with homemade bone broth. I'll post that recipe here as well. Lots of vegetables, plenty of chicken. The flavor is awesome. Give it a try and then comment down below. Let me know how it worked out for you. And if you found something useful in this video, and I hope you did, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget the notification bell so you find out what's next on What's Cooking. We'll see you soon.